VikesNow, Dustin Baker. We are 2.5 days before the draft. I am here with LOSO. What up, man?
How you doing, bro? It's an honor, man.
Oh, hey, this is the honor here. We've crossed paths on Twitter for a couple
Yeah,
years, so now we get to chat in person, so to speak. But
yeah,
I need to pick your brain about the Viking stuff. However, I want to
yeah,
hear your biography first. Tell all of our viewers what you do, how you fell in love with the purple team. Tell us
yeah.
about it.
Man, so I'm a national recording artist, and I'm a battle rapper. So I know when people think about battle rap, the first thing that comes to mind is like 8 Mile, but like it's more. I tell people I'm like, or Hamilton. That's probably more embarrassing. But I tell people though, I'm like, man, no, think of it like boxing. We get contracted. It's like a big league. It's a lot of money behind it. Drake just sponsored our last event, so it's a lot of celebrities in there, athletes. And so for me, I get the privilege. I was ranked ninth in the world amongst 26,000 possible battle rappers. I was the ninth best battle rapper last year. And so from that, a lot of them know me for being a diehard Vikings fan. And
Yeah.
so I do that for a living. I was a teacher for 4 years, but I do that for a living. But I currently reside in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
And ironically enough, that is where I fell in love with the Vikings. At 10 years old, I was down here. My cousin, he was a big Vikings fan already at the time. And I had just started learning about football at 10 years old. And I came over. This is 1998 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And so we're playing on the video game, and he's like, "All right, you're gonna be Chris Carter," and he was Randy Moss, and we were just running routes, and let the quarterback just throw us passes. And so from there, I fell in love with the team, and so I watched the 1998 season. I'm tuned in, and we won 15 games that year. And I remember saying to myself, I said, "Oh, it's gonna be great being a Vikings fan for the rest of my life." And that year we ended up losing in the NFC Championship. But and I think since I've been a fan, I think I've maybe watched us fail at the NFC Championship 4 times since then. So
Yeah.
no Super Bowl, but we got it 4 times. But great ups and downs, man. So and a lot of people, they're like, man, you're living in Tampa. I'm a Buck supporter, I would say. I wouldn't call myself a fan. Like I don't get upset when they lose. I don't lose sleep. If the Vikings lose, I'm upset for the rest of the week, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's kind of how I fell in love with the Vikings and been a purple supporter since 1998, man.
Yeah, that season roped in a lot of us. I got in the year before, 1997, because I just moved to Minneapolis, and so I got a little introduction, and then just
Yeah.
like you, 98, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I want to mention the Hamilton thing. So my wife is obsessed with Hamilton, and we've
Okay.
watched it 4 or 5 times. Maybe you've heard this story. She also read the Michelle Obama autobiography.
Uh-huh.
And she was reading a passage of it about a year and a half ago. And Lin-Manuel was at the White House before he became a thing. And he was talking to Michelle Obama, and he was like, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a rap musical about Alexander Hamilton."
Yeah.
And in the book, she was like, "Good luck with your rap musical," because it sounded
Yeah.
preposterous.
Exactly.
But now, it's blown up. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's do
I'm actually a huge fan as well. I've gotten the opportunity to actually not with the crowd, but there's been different organizations where they've done renditions of Hamilton, and they've had me come in and rap certain parts. So I've performed it as well.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going. We're going to Des Moines, Iowa next month for the Hamilton.
Yep.
It's not the original cast, but it'll still be fun. So, all right,
Nice.
draft week, Viking stuff. Let's get down to it. I've asked this for the past few guests. I need your temperature on Kirk Cousins, because it appears that this new brand of leadership thinks that they can Staffordize him, which is surround him with apropos talent and take the thing to February and win the damn Super Bowl. Do you, sir, put Stafford and Cousins in the same bucket? Why or why not?
Man, yeah. So prior to last year, and I feel like a lot of people were saying this, as a Vikings fan, there was never a time where I looked at Stafford as like that guy. There was never a day where like we were going against Stafford and I was like, man, I'm worried. He was a good quarterback, but he wasn't that guy. And so maybe that's how other teams look at Cousins. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, thank God, because I met you on Twitter, I've become a professional Cousins apologist. And so, man, I do think that they can do it, bro. I think that if I just look at what Matthew Stafford did last year, and I'm asking myself, okay, can he go ahead and put up these numbers? Yes, Cousins put up these numbers. Can he go ahead and make certain plays in the NFC Championship game? Right, Stafford makes this throw to Cooper Kupp, and then they get the game-winning field goal. I'm like, yeah, Cousins made that throw to me when we beat New Orleans in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to Adam Thielen, like, he can make those plays. He can put up those type of numbers. Can the defense hold their own? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. But I do think, like, yeah, you surround Cousins with more weapons. I mean, the numbers that he put up last year, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, you know, I mean, he's producing as a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion. And so, yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for Kevin O'Connell. I think him putting all those pieces around him, and, you know, what I'm hearing, what they might do in the draft, I'm kind of excited with that as well. So I think he can, bro. I think he can do it.
Okay, what about the forecast from Vegas sports books that Minnesota is a fringe playoff team at about 9 wins, 8.5 wins, 9.5 wins? Is that fair right now, or would you expect it to be higher or lower?
So I'm okay with it because I'm going to take the over.
Yeah.
That's what I'm okay with. So I'm like, yeah, leave it there. I'm going to take the over. And the reason why I'm going to take the over, man, is because, like I said, new head coach, new system. You know, we got Cousins, we got Jefferson, we have Cook there. The defense is already improving, right? We have Zadarius, we have Jordan Hicks. Like, I'm excited for that. If we take somebody in the draft, I'm excited for that. There's no way our defense is going to be 30th ranked in the league again. At least in my mind, there's just no way. And so I'm thinking to myself, man. So now, granted, you sent those questions, and as soon as you sent those questions, there was a rumor of the Packers picking up Darren Waller. And I was like, oh gosh. And then this morning, Derek Carr was like, yeah, no chance. So I was like, okay, good. I feel good about that. So if that was the case, I probably would have moved it around. But I have us winning the North, man.
Oh, wow.
And I definitely have us. I have us winning the North. And you know, I got us winning. If I had to put a number down, I would say at least 10 games.
The Waller thing, I fully understand that would be glorious for the green team, but that would have been involved in the deal for Devontae.
Exactly.
You don't just wake up the morning after trade and be like, you know what, we should have got that other guy. Like, that would have been front and center.
So when you saw the rumor, you didn't even give it any credence.
Oh, well, I did the same thing. It struck fear in my heart like it did yours. Then I started to think, all right, what would that look like? But then I quickly just came to the conclusion that I verbally said is like, well, they would have done that already. That would have been like even more of a blockbuster-ish deal. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we could have done a whole show on this next topic because we are 60 hours away or whatever from the draft.
Excited.
It's a puzzle, and I just love it. I've grown to love it more and more every year doing this Viking stuff. So tell me, I've been nailing everybody down. I want to know who the Vikings pick at number 12, or if they trade back, who do they ultimately end up picking, sir?
Yeah. At 12, man, obviously this is the consensus, right? Derek Stingley, bro. LSU,
You
DB,
think he falls?
I think so. Now, granted, no. So I say all that to say this.
Yeah.
I know he did, his workouts were great. And I mean, he's a guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, DBs to me, I don't know if you can name too many positions that are more important than them right now, especially with how dominant these wide receivers are. You get a lockdown corner, you want to go ahead and get him. You know what I'm saying? I think we need somebody who was like, when we had roads closed for a year or two, you know what I'm saying? When it was like that type of season for us. And so I do think if he's there at 12, you get him.
Okay.
If we move down, if let's say Stingley is gone right before 12, if we move down, I'm actually a college football Florida Gator fan, and so I am for Kaiir Elam, man, the DB out of Florida. If I was at the Bama game when he was doing a great job on Jameson Williams, I've watched him play. I think he's a great corner. I think he can fit into the system. And so if we do move down, I still think you stay with the DB position. Although I've been hearing a bunch of different things. And so I guess we'll go into the next question. You know what I'm saying? Obviously we want to get there. But I've been hearing a bunch of different things, and I would be shocked if we did something else with the first round pick other than a DB.
I think with Elam too, if the Chiefs rumor came to fruition where they gave the 29th and 30th pick for the 12th pick, and perhaps we had to send a 6th or something for deal sweetener, I think that would be a target for the 29th, 30th, so they could get Elam and then a linebacker or something like that. I think he might be there. It kind of like this draft is going to be so chaotic that it's tough to predict. But yeah, on the idea where you're about to tease your own answer, I've asked multiple folks on this show in its infancy about the unpredictability of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, not because he's unstable, but because he doesn't have a damn resume yet. Wes Johnson on our inaugural episode told me that his idea of a surprise would be even if Sauce or Stingley were still there at 12, he could see Kwesi trading back. Last night, Justin Ekstrom said, well, if there's going to be something shocking, it would probably be drafting Malik Willis and preparing for life after Kirk. So give me your version of a Kwesi stunner.
Yeah, that's what I think, man. I think, to me, what would stun me, any offensive weapon that we grab. And then granted, I know that sounds weird because we have O'Connell, but I just think that if we grab Jameson Williams, right? Like, for instance, if he's there at 12, you ask yourself, like, for me, I'm like, okay, we have a wide receiver core right now. And now, granted, he's not going to come in and play, right? He's going to be hurt. I mean, he's still going to be hurt, I guess, in the beginning of the season. So, but, you know, we have Jefferson, we have Adam Thielen, and then you have Osborne. And so, can you have too many weapons? No. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, you know what I'm saying? He puts those guys on the field and he makes them work. But to me, that would be the shocker. And I do agree with the other gentleman. I think if we take Malik, I saw somebody say Malik, you know what I'm saying? Hey, go ahead and grab the quarterback. Let's go ahead and get it for the future. With the first round draft pick, I don't know, man. Like that would, not only would it be a shocker, but I think I would also be kind of semi-upset. I mean, I would trust the process, bro, but I don't know if I would be too happy if we did that move.
The thing that would be so strange about that, even though we'd all find a way to get behind it, is that you would slap in the face the trend of using a quarterback on his rookie deal, because now you can't get out of Cousins' contract unless he consents. So, you know, it would be like the Rodgersization, sitting behind Cousins for 2 years, just like he did with Favre, and then hoping 3 years, 3, 4, and 5 are profitable for the team, and then, you know, cheap for 3 more years. So, I mean, yeah, it goes back to the unpredictability element, but that one would be a shocker.
And so I would say this too. Like, let's say Jameson is there at 12. I think you do want to get players that, especially in the first round, right? Like, hey, can they impact a season right now? And he has that talent. You know what I'm saying? He has that talent. He has that speed. I mean, you put him on the field. I mean, you know, Adam Thielen's what, 33?
He will be 32 this summer.
Okay, 32. You know what I'm saying? So he's in his 30s. But, you know, just thinking of the dynamic. Like, I mean, you got Justin Jefferson and you got Jameson. Like, I mean, I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't be angry at that. But and he can impact the team right now. And, you know, if we did go the offensive route, I guess in my mind, like I said earlier, yeah, we did kind of address some defensive needs already before the draft. So maybe we could pick up somebody later on. But yeah, I think anything outside of a defensive player for me would be a shocker.
Yep. And then pivoting back to your talking point from earlier in the show about the 98 season, I've written about this, talked about this, and it's kind of straightforward. If we went in a time machine to the 98 draft class, you have Chris Carter, who some people need to plug their ears, is better than Justin Jefferson, or at least has a Hall of Fame resume, and if Jefferson gets there, great. But Chris Carter is every bit a receiver that Justin Jefferson is, and then Jake Reed. And so we would be, if there was YouTube back then, you and I would be very little and talking about that, well, we don't need a damn wide receiver. And it changed everything. It brought in thousands of fans. It made the team formidable for 5 years. And so, yeah, if
number one offense in the league, right?
Oh hell yeah, by a mile.
I think it broke the record until the Patriots.
The Rams. It was the Rams. That came
okay.
Yep. Gotcha. It didn't stand for very long. But then, yeah, the Patriots. I can't remember if the perfect Patriots.
The 07 Patriots definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that there should be no other evidence that's needed, because
wow, that's good.
Yeah, because Reed and Carter, magnificent. And there were if folks obsessed over this like we do now, you'd look at the roster and be like, we don't need a wide receiver. But that's not what drafts are about at all. They're not about what you need in September. They're what you need in September 4 years from now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pivot back to free agency. A couple more questions for you, sir. Depending on your perspective, the Vikings made a couple splashes, mainly Zadarius Smith, Jordan Hicks is going to be very durable and phenomenal in the middle of defense. Chandon Sullivan, Harrison Phillips replacing Michael Pierce. So in their way, on a strat budget, they made some impact moves. They still have about $12 million. About 3/4 of that will be needed for this draft class. But there are dudes out there. J.C. Treader, we've been discussing for a month and a half almost. Richard Sherman probably will get a home. Honey Badger will be expensive, but there are decent free agents. Do you think after the draft, after out of the rubble, do you think they'll sign one more quasi big name free agent, or is this what we got?
Man, I do think this is what we got. I don't think that they go sign another guy, but I would say this, man, and maybe you could probably give me some insight if how realistic this was. I was hoping that they went after Gilmore.
Yeah.
Was that realistic in any way?
Ooh, nah. Well, as a matter of strategy and how he would fit, yeah, but he also deserves to be handsomely paid. So you would have to, it probably would have had to have been game planned by now, whereas you don't get Za'Darius, even though his deal is pretty team friendly, or, that would have been your big move. And then you would have had the Chandon Sullivan types to finish it out. So it's same with Honey Badger. It's everybody wants.
Everybody wants Honey Badger. Yeah. For me, what was ironic is that I wasn't seeing too many teams kind of go after Gilmore. But yeah, if that probably would have been the big name. I didn't know necessarily about the money, but yeah, so I don't think that we make a move, at least another big signing after the draft. But hey, we'll see, man. That's the uncertainty right now with the new head coach and the new GM.
Yeah, we kind of when you obsess over this purple stuff like you and I do, every name kind of feels big, like Bashaud Breeland last year, even before the experiment didn't go very well. D.D. Westbrook, all of those felt like junior splashes. So I'm anxious to see if those happen where, not your grandpa doesn't know who these guys are.
Was Patrick Peterson a big splash for you?
Yeah, because it fell out of the damn sky. It was St. Patrick's Day 2021. That's his first name. And I'm pretty damn sure he called the Vikings and says, what to do. And they're like, oh, you want to play for us? That was big, especially because of his personality. And one thing I'll always enjoy about that guy, even if he is cut in June or something, is that he wants to be with the Vikings. Yeah. And it's like, what does he know that we don't?
He doesn't. Does he do a podcast?
Yeah. It's All Things Covered with I think it's Bryant McFadden, and and he reveals a lot on that show. From a writer's standpoint, I can listen to that and come up with about 4 cool things to write about each week. We'll see. You talked about KJ Osborne a few minutes ago, and he came out of nowhere around June, July, August, and then solidified his spot on this depth chart. Inevitably, in some degree, there's going to be another guy like that, especially with a new coaching staff. Can you predict who the gym will be that we're not talking about right now for the 2022 Vikings?
Man, I feel like people are talking about this guy, and maybe this is just me just saying, hey, step it up, bro. Irv Smith Jr., bro. Yeah. I think I want him to be a tight end one, and maybe in O'Connell's offense he could do that. You know what I'm saying? To me, if I had to go ahead and pick a player to be that breakout player, and people probably picked Irv Smith last year over KJ, but if that is the case, I'll roll over and I'll say, hey, let's go ahead and get Irv Smith. I mean, he's athletic, bro. I mean, to me, the talent is there. Let's see if O'Connell can go ahead and put something together where he could be a tight end one. I mean, obviously, asking any tight end to go ahead and be the next Kelsey or George Kittle, I mean, you want to strike gold there, but just be a guy that, hey, I mean, they have the game plan for you, and we're going to go ahead and implement you into the offense on a consistent basis.
In 2 consecutive off seasons, they've cleared the deck for Irv. They got rid of Rudolph because he's getting a sum of money that was a little bit more than he deserved, at least as much as he was targeting the offense. So that was 2021. And this year, Conklin, he went to the Jets. So they better because
Conklin wasn't bad.
No, Conklin was pretty. He was pretty cool. And Justin Ekstrom last night also said Irv Smith Jr. And I'll tell you what I told him, that this is his contract year. And so he has every extra added motivations to be healthy and to break out, because if he does, he'll get paid a lot. And if he doesn't, then he'll be kind of on the ash heap of what could have been, which we don't want to see.
Man, earlier I said, you want to go ahead and solidify positions where like they just impact the game, right? Like a DB.
Yeah.
I think tight ends are also in that upper echelon, that type 5. You have a top 5 tight end. I mean, your team is kind of gearing in the right direction. And so and you're able to kind of make a splash into the NFL. So I think Irv Smith, man, by any chance you're hearing this, bro, we're rooting for you, man. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, he better be watching. All right, man. Tell everybody where to find you on Twitter, website. Let's hear it, and then we'll skedaddle.
Yeah, man. My Twitter and Instagram are both everything LOSO. And if you want to go ahead and watch any battles, listen to any music, support me in buying merch or anything like that, you go to my website at everythingloso.com.
Oh, fantastic. All right, sir. We're going to have you back. I'll keep your number close. Any closing arguments for the group?
No, man. Listen, man. Skull Nation, we are here. I'm excited. I'm excited every season, man. You know what I'm saying? Last year, it was pretty tough with a lot of close games, but let's go ahead and do this, man. I'm ready.
All right. Skull, baby.